Real Upekkha, written by Thanavaro Bhikkhu, December 3rd, 2023. Read by Panyamon Vihakapirom. Through my long-term study on the mind, I have found that the mind always finds something to get irritated about or fascinated by. It always finds something to need, worry about, and lament over. This is because the mind receives input in terms of perceptions and feelings that register experiences as pleasant or unpleasant, which is natural enough. An undeveloped or untrained mind adds mental activities and programs of craving, aversion, and self-interest on top of that. These are the proliferating tendencies in Pali Anusaya that are embedded in the mind's awareness and take form as the mind rises into its activities. With this, our heart capacity and vision perish. This is an exalted mind, or in Thai, เหนื่อยใจ We lose touch with the good fortune we have and of how much worth it could have been. We forgot and lose empathy for the misfortune of others. We edit out all the ugly, smelly, rough, and tedious aspects of our life. In Thai, that is ตำหนิติเตียนทุกคนทุกสิ่งไปหมด. Meditation practice can develop equanimity, or in Pali, Upekkha, and evenness in two ways. The first way is by steadying the energy of mind. This comes around through calm mental unification, whereby the process of focusing the mind on one theme unifies, smoothens, and strengthens its energy. When the mind puts aside external sense contact, agitation, aversion, speculation, worry, restlessness, and fascination that accompany it, the mind's energy settles and unifies with the energy of the body. Such a mind can then enjoy its own vitality and extend its awareness more widely without losing the center. This is samadhi. As it deepens, the mind's composure and is refined and steady, leaving the clarity and equanimity. This is called development of mind with dependence on the perceptions and feelings. In meditation, we get to know the energetic aspect of the mind, and through developing and purifying it, we can rest in the element rather than in all coming and goings. At this point, the mind remains equanimous. It is not pulled out, pushed in, or shaken about by any events. The mind settles on this elemental ground in the midst of the world, and it still feels whole, healthy, and well. The second way by which meditation can develop Upekkha is through the insightful capacity of the mind, which is a penetrative knowing that this is a thought, This is a feeling, this is liking, this is disliking, this is remembering, this is losing it. Such discernment can be trained to be equanimous and unbiased. While being touched by thoughts, sensations, and other mind states, it can be trained not to flinch, fudge, congratulate, or blame. The more we have capacity to receive and reflect on experience, the more we see it as caused, changeable, and not belonging to anyone. This insightful focus sees experience in terms of gates to the deathless, desirelessness, sightlessness, and selflessness. In such a way, they all come down to the same thing, a right view. Without this right view, we unconsciously label things in terms of desirability, agreeable or disagreeable character. And so, we try to get only the agreeable and avoid the disagreeable. For meditation, we discover that we cannot get away from what arises. The more we want to have peace and stillness, the more agitated and uptight we get. The more we try to get rid of the stupid and ugly mind moments, the more persistently they assail us. After a while, we discover that the only real option is just to pay close attention and adopt equanimity. This is called Upekkha Jnana, meaning the peaceful intention of equanimity that spreads over the mind. A natural inner stillness can be realized. Four Noble Truths are realized. Insight meditation always penetrates the perpetual process that labels everything. As perception is the activity of recognizing an object as something that is known, it acts as a manager of the tiny mental memos that label things. This is dreadful. This is humorous. This is a threat. This is fantastic, and so on. But when we recognize what we are experiencing is impermanent and changing, then we see that our memory labels are not true in the ultimate. So, things are desirable dependent on our desire, not innately in themselves. For example, live music is great when we are dancing, but terrible when we are trying to get to sleep. In the deepest layer of awareness, there is no labeling and no intention. The mind is untroubled. The discernment is clear and not making any signs. Deliverance of mind, Ceto Vimutti, and deliverance of wisdom, Panya Vimutti, have combined. There is no response or warding off to the events. There is no idea to hold on to, and thus, fundamental property of Nibbana element is realized.